Welcome back to the Bahamas Tonight Weekend Edition. Officers from the Fire Division of the Royal Bahamas Police Force in Grand Bahama and here in the capital launched a week of activities at Emmanuel Gospel Church and First Holiness Church. Each year, officers use this week to not only spread the message, but to raise the awareness on fire safety. Officer in charge, Superintendent Walter Evans, told ZNS News that taking the necessary precautions can and will save lives.
When we look at the amount of fire calls that we've had thus far for this year, which is in the amount of 1,199 calls that is up to this moment, there is a need for us to help to reduce the amount of incidents that would have been taking place within our country. Thus far for this year, we have had 2 fire deaths, one in New Providence and one on the island of Eleuthera. And when we compare those numbers to what we have had comparatively for the same period last year, we would have had 12 dead by fires. There is a need for fire safety awareness.
Superintendent Evans also talked about a number of activities they have planned to give back to the community.
We are having an official opening ceremony tomorrow at the mall at Marathon at 11 a.m. And on Tuesday, we have an emergency drills day, on evacuation drills day. A number of government agencies, non-government agencies, schools are partnering with us in this endeavor. And then on Wednesday of this week, we move into the community, the wider community on the island of New Providence, where we intend to distribute perhaps well over 100, maybe close to 200 smoke detector alarms. These are voice alert devices that we intend to issue. And then on Thursday of this week, we have a fireman's challenge that is being named after our past director, Ivan Blackman. It's being called the Ivan Blackman Fireman's Challenge. And on that day, the fire officers will engage in various drill movements.
Some new initiatives are now in the pipeline to help build the relationship between students, teachers, and parents at the T.G. Glover Primary School. With some 700-plus students currently enrolled, Vice Principal Carolyn Mitchell says a new homework center is now available to assist students with homework and other key subject areas.
It gives the child, sufficient time basically to do the work, because you look at the research, children really, when you look at different grade level, the longest time, for a primary school should really be about 45 minutes a day doing homework. So at least they are monitored and all that. So parents will be comfortable knowing that they have, their child has a trained person assisting, because a lot of times too, when we look at our parents, some of our parents are not really able. We send home homework and the parents come to you on the side and say, I really can't, help my child, because sometimes our parents need help as well. I need help as well. When my kids come home and I can't do the work, I'm like, I have to call another teacher to assist.
Mitchell is once again pleading with parents to become more involved in their children's education this new academic year. She believes parental involvement is key in improving the overall examination results.
If one parent works on his or her child, then we are definitely deemed for success. We are deemed for success. If you see, look at research. Those parents that are actively engaged in the learning processes of their children, those are the children who are reaping. Those are the children who are coming out with BGCSEs and A's and B's. So I encourage all parents here today who listen in to become actively engaged. Maybe last year you weren't so much engaged because you were busy, you had a myriad of things to do. So I encourage you this year to begin today.
Family and friends of a 31-year-old breast cancer victim are teaming up with the Sister support group to raise funds to fight the disease in her memory. The Bolding for Breast Cancer initiative is being dubbed a worthy cause for others battling cancer.
We've never had seen a very young person go through what Cindy went through.
Breast cancer survivor and treasurer of the Sister group, Chantel Hutchinson, says the recent death of 31-year-old Cindy Smith to breast cancer has not only opened her eyes, but has pushed her to become more involved in fundraising events like Bowling for Breast Cancer. Hutchinson says monies raised will go a long way in assisting women, especially younger females in their 20s and 30s, battling the disease without adequate health care.
One of our major programs is to provide a porta cath to women who cannot get a porta cath. They're about $550 for each port, and the port is used to administer chemotherapy. So we look at the port as a very, very important tool because that's the first step you take in getting and being cured.
Cindy's younger sister, Darlene Sands, says the hefty monthly bills and coping with her sister's illness were a struggle for her family, but says she is hopeful that this initiative will assist others experiencing a similar crisis.
It was really tough for our family when we first found out that Cindy was diagnosed with breast cancer, and we were really supportive with her, and we did everything that we could to make her as comfortable as possible, and it just took a toll on our family. It really was an eye-opener for us.
The deadline to register for the Cindy Smith Bowling for Breast Cancer competition is October 10th at a $25 charge for 10 players per team. While organizers say they plan to make this an annual fundraiser, the main event is set for October 20th at Mario's Bowling and Entertainment Palace. Don't go anywhere. Sports is next with Charles Fisher.